What's going on, slave tards? Tonight I'm going to do another video about the war against intelligence, and that's cryptocurrencies. So we've had cryptocurrencies now for almost 15 years, actually over 15 years. I think it was in 2009 Bitcoin came onto the scene, right? And we've heard all sorts of lies about what it does and, why it's valuable and all the things it's going to do for the world and how it's, Internet 2.0 and how phenomenal blockchain was and all these things. But 15 or 16 years later, can you point to one thing that's better in the world that was made possible because of blockchain and crypto? I can't, right? I can't. Not only that, all the reasons they gave for crypto, like it being anonymous, which it's not. It's one of the most trackable things in the world. Case in point, today I read an article about the U.S. government seizing $15 billion worth of Bitcoin. $15 billion. And you may be asking yourself, how could they seize Bitcoin when it was supposed to be outside of the government control, right? That was another selling point, outside of the fiat system and outside of government control. Yeah, you read it all the time, right? Either they find some kind of vulnerability in wallets to seize, like they did with this 15 billion. Or they just outright seize them from exchanges because exchanges have to turn it over to the government when they say turn it over. Or they arrest the guy and tell him, give us your private keys or, we're going to add 50 years to life on your sentence or whatever, right? I mean, you've seen that too. That's happened too. So none of the advantages they sold about crypto are true. None of them are. It's actually, crypto is the system of control, right? Anybody who knows anything about the digital world knows that anything you do on the line, in the digital world, can be traced, tracked very easily, right? It's not even hard. It's easier to track. Way easier than cash, way easier than gold or silver on your mattress, way easier than something that people don't know about. Because once you're on the line in the digital world, everybody can see what's going on, and especially if you're on the blockchain, right? So I just listened to one of the dumbest podcasts I ever seen. So I don't know if any of you guys have heard about iced coffee. I think it was Graham Stefan, who used to do all these financial things. He was really into real estate and stuff, and then he got into Bitcoin. I'm like, oh my God. Has this guy, Andre Nick Jick or somebody on there. He's on YouTube, and he talks about crypto all the time. And they have this guy on there like he's some kind of expert just because he's got like a big crypto channel, right? And so they're interviewing him in their iced coffee hour or whatever. And this Andre Jick guy sounds like the biggest moronic idiot I've ever heard in my entire life. He starts talking about how inflation works, and the reason why prices go up is because there's more and more money, but if fixed money, prices would just go down because there's more goods and no more money, and blah, 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 like remedial, dumb, explanation of inflation, right? We're all idiots. He's talking to this Graham guy like he's a third grader, right? And I'm thinking to myself, this is another reason why I think crypto will fail. Because if you look at the crypto experts on the internet, they look like something from the dot-com bubble, Yahoo message boards on OTC penny stocks, right? They're all moronic idiots, right? You look at them and, they get all these views and they're talking about how, the XRP sell-off was just them trying to get our XRP for cheap and all the, just the dumbest thing ever. And so you have this, Andre Jick on Iced Coffee Hour, and he's explaining to us why Bitcoin's worth a lot, because it's fixed. But it's not fixed, right? It's not fixed. Not only is it not fixed, it doesn't do any of the things that was promised, and it's really has no usefulness at all to the world at all, right? It's not fixed in the fact that I can create a Bitcoin deuce tomorrow that has the same mintage of 21 million coins, and I could duplicate that to infinity, right? Or even better yet, I could create a Bitcoin elite tomorrow and say, it's going to have a maximum coin mintage of 1 million coin. Does that automatically make it 21 times as valuable as Bitcoin? No. If you've got something that's digital worthless trash, it's digital worthless trash. No matter how many you mint or what the mintage is or the supply is, right? That's like saying there's only 21 pieces of dirt, so that dirt has to be way valuable. No. It's got to have some kind of usefulness. And crypto doesn't, right? I see all these things. People, XRP was this big deal. Oh, it's going to take over the SWIFT system and blah, blah, blah. And now we see with the Genius Act that what they're trying to do is make stable coins take over the system, and stable coins being backed by U.S. treasuries or U.S. dollars, drumming up demand for something that demand is waning, right? So you think it's going to be XRP, right? Solana, or all these things, like even HBAR, Hedera Hashgraph, and all supposed to, enable the Internet of Things, yet none of it has happened, right? How long do we have to wait for the promise of cryptocurrency doing something for me and you, right? Not to mention is, if you want to use crypto in any easy way, you have to put it on exchanges, right? If you don't want to be a tech nerd and have to jump through all these troops to deal with your crypto, then you just keep your crypto on these exchanges. And these exchanges own your private keys, so you just give them their security, right? They also have your social security. They report to the IRS. They can be seized by the government, right? So if you don't want that, then you got to be some techie nerd, and you got to put it on some kind of cold storage and make sure you don't lose your private keys or have them thrown out into the, garbage, like the guys got billions of dollars been trying to get him to allow him to dig up the landfill to try to find his hard drive. You got to do all these things and hope it doesn't get stolen or damaged, or you lose your private keys, or jump through all these hoops, and have some kind of, wallet vulnerability like Milky whatever that the government used to seize the 15 billion. It's all garbage, right? It's all garbage. I did a video the other night about silver, and I think a lot of people took the video wrong. Like, I'm not against silver. I'm disappointed in its performance over the last 15 years. But I think silver is a great asset compared to all this crypto trash, right? And I think it may, and it probably will, catch up to gold and the Dow, and it just lagged. I'm hoping it catches up, but I don't know. I really don't know. All I know is I'm not spending real money to buy fake money, right? This Andre Jick guy is talking about Bitcoin as its money. It's not money. It can't be money, right? It's not even digital gold. It is nothing. It is the world's biggest Ponzi scheme. And he showed how the price of a house has gone down, as far as how many Bitcoin it cost to buy a house, and it's consistently gone down. Yeah, that's been true, right? But that argument is like, what in history? What in the history of the world? What in the history of the world has just gone up and never gone down, right? It's the dumb argument, right? It would have to have tremendous value and tremendous usefulness in order to go up forever. Bitcoin's just not that. And when the selling, the buying subsides, the selling will come. And when it does come, it's going to be ugly, right? It's going to be ugly, and people are going to be rushing for the exits faster than you can get rid of it. It's going to happen. I've been very, very disappointed on how long this Ponzi scheme has gone on. I really have, right? It's atrocious to me. It's a travesty of the world to me. Like, it's one of the things that bother me most about the world is cryptocurrencies, right? And how we're using huge, vast amounts of energy and water to cool these data centers, natural resources for something that's not needed and has done nothing for the world, right? Has done nothing for the world except, aid criminals and hackers and, people like this 15 billion that was just seized, right? Like, how long do we have to put up with this in society? Anyway, that's my video. Peace.